Good morning. Welcome to this fabulous segment on Spitzbuben. You're wondering, what is Spitzbuben? And the way it was explained to me is it's a naughty little boy. That was from a Swiss pastry chef, but these are classic holiday cookies. And with me today, I'm thrilled to have Lisa Donovan, one of the best pastry chefs I've ever met, one of Nashville's finest. And she is going to share with us her southern take on this classic Swiss cookie.
The Spitzbuben.
Spitzbuben, welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Me.
Yeah, on this beautiful day. It's a lovely sort of wintry mix kind of day, the perfect day that you want to be
in the kitchen
in
making cookies.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're thrilled to be here with Lisa. We're going to be cooking Spitzbuben. Now, Spitzbuben, as we talked about earlier, are these classic Swiss holiday cookies. I'm sure many of you have tried these. They're shortbread cookies with the raspberry jam.
Mm-hmm.
But Lisa, who is such a great innovator when it comes to cooking, can take a classic recipe and make it her own. And that's truly the creative beauty of a great chef. So today she's going to talk to us about her take on this classic Swiss cookie. So talk to us about
Well, I think like any good Southern baker, I try to use what I have around, and I always have cornmeal around, and I just prefer to have a cornmeal cookie any time of the day, I think, rather than just a regular shortbread. So whenever I have something like a Linzer cookie or Spitzbuben or something that has a lot of fruit in it especially, I want to have a lot of salt and I want to have a little more crunch than just a really sweet shortbread. Anytime I make preserved fruit of any kind, I roast it really high because then you can put less sugar on it and it still draws the moisture out and kind of helps you get to that sticky, jammy thing that you're trying to get without having to soak it in so much sugar first. I'm really opposed to soaking fruit in a lot of sugar to make a preserve. So the higher you cook it and the hotter you cook it and then kind of turn it down to make it a really low heat so that it just sort of marinates in that its own juices. And I prefer to get white cornmeal. I just feel like it's a little more finely ground. And
Well, all right. Well, let's get busy and make some cookies. What are our first steps here?
So we're going to cream some butter. I've had some butter sitting out for a couple of hours just to get it nice and soft, and you can kind of see it's not, I think when you're talking about making especially something as seemingly easy as a shortbread cookie, you want to pay attention to the temperature of all of your things. My egg is at room temperature, it's not cold. My butter is not releasing any of the moisture. If it's been sitting out long enough or in a room that's too hot, it's going to start to weep a little bit. That's too warm. And also if it's not quite where you can, kind of very easily touch it and make a little indentation, then it's too cold. You just kind of want to, I need 12 ounces and I've got a pretty good eye, so I'm just going to guess. Ordinarily I would measure it, but this is 12 ounces. We're going to put it in our mixing bowl. But yeah, butter temperature is really, really important when you're dealing with cookies. So then you're going to take your vanilla bean and early morning shaky hands. If you don't have a vanilla bean, you can use just some vanilla extract, and I prefer vanilla bean.
It really does make a difference.
Oh, huge difference. And these are nice and fat and healthy. I'm just going to scrape it all out.
So all that pulp is what you see if you get like real vanilla ice cream, and you see the tiny little flecks in there.
And then I've already meased out all of the sugar. So you're just going to get everything in there. If by some reason your butter is a bit cold and not exactly where you want it to be, you'll want to work your butter alone without the sugar, but I've got everything kind of where I want it, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it all in at once. So I'm just going to do a little at a time, mainly because I just don't want it to fly everywhere. If you have a bigger mixer, you can probably just go ahead and get everything in there. And dough. Now, the key to a really good cookie dough is rolling it out and freezing it. Because then you can work with a nice cold dough, and it's really easy to cut, and that's how you get the really pretty shapes. And it's better if you bake them frozen as well. This isn't as frozen as we'd like, because we're just, you really do kind of want it to be nice and firm. So we've got 2 rolled out here. This is 1 batch right here, so you can yield a pretty good amount. And
so you need the top and the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So when you're doing this, you have to remember to double it up.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You always want to do you'll do the same sizes, but then you're going to take half of whatever you make, and you're going to make a nice little hole in the center so that you can get that really pretty little jammy dodger little center showing. Tell me more about your grandfather.
So
This is where you learned how to make them,
This
right?
is. Well, I didn't learn them from him. Unfortunately, I never knew him, but my great-grandfather, Albert Guinet, came to this country from Switzerland and had a job at the Waldorf Astoria. So he was one of the lucky ones to come over in the late 1800s with a job in hand already.
Mm-hmm.
So he would make these, and my grandmother then would make them and send us tins at Christmas of these. And so that's my memory of them.
This is why it's easier when they're a bit
Yeah,
frozen.
sure.
But just to give you, we can definitely keep manipulating them a little bit.
And it's nice to keep the little cutouts too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can make little baby jammy dodgers.
little schnicky snacks.
Little schnicky snacks for the kinder.
Yeah, for the Kinder. Yeah, we like to keep the Kinder happy. Try and incorporate the dough that we cut out.
You can use the trim.
Roll it.
I'm only a fan of doing that up to 1 time.
Okay. Does it just make the dough too tough?
Yeah, and I think, you just end up kind of getting a chewier cookie than you really want.
Right.
But it is good for maybe 1 more roll.
So once they're baked, let them cool, and then we add the raspberry jam, or I highly recommend the damson plum jam.
Agreed, yeah.
If you can find them and make them. So you're adding the jam, spread it out a little bit.
That's right, just give it a little bit. You don't want to get it too close to the lip, because you don't want it to pooch out. And then you just put the little hat on.
That's beautiful.
And there you have it. The Spitzbuben.
Spitzbuben. Also known as Linzer cookies.
Also known as Linzer cookies. Also known as, in my house, cornmeal jammies.
Cornmeal jammies. Well, that's what we're going to call them. That's great. Lisa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. It's been my pleasure.